We have, for more perspective and legal perspective on the story, Aba Singh and Majid Memon, both are senior lawyers, and they join us live right now. If I can come across to you, Ms. Singh, first. Justice Kumar saying the charges against him are part of a conspiracy. This is a defense several people have offered. Even Justice Ganguly offered a similar defense. But in his case, he's saying it's because of his role as the chairman of the National Green Tribunal. It's an attempt by someone to interfere and malign his efforts at the Green Tribunal.
Justice Kumar could be very right, because he has been a judge in the Supreme Court. He has handled very sensitive cases, and now also with National Green Tribunal, we all know Ministry of Environment is a very sensitive. Recently the minister was also removed. So it can definitely be a conspiracy, because this allegation comes after 3 years of the event from happening. This incident was 3 years earlier, and Justice Kumar is 100% sure he is ready to put proof, also put up judicial clerks who were present at the time when this incident, that alleged incident, is supposed to have taken place. And one cannot deny that anything unsubstantiated without corroborative evidence cannot be taken like that. As per the law, it has to be specific, it has to have evidence, and Justice Kumar is on a sensitive post, and we have to listen to his side also before reaching any conclusion.
If I can come across to Majid Memon on the defamation case that's been filed by Justice Kumar. Mr. Memon, Justice Kumar saying not only should the media companies compensate me with 25 crore rupees, he also wants to put a ban on the trial. How does that work legally? A ban on coverage of the trial?
Well, history would show, and our criminal justice system with precedents in the past, in appropriate cases, the courts have ordered the ban on publication of a particular trial or a particular part of the trial in the best interest of justice. Whoever pleads, whether it's a prosecutor or whether it's a defense or anybody else who wants that the media be barred from covering the development or the facts of the case or the progress of the case, and let the nation not know. In appropriate cases, the courts have imposed some kind of partial restriction on media in best interest of justice. But it would be for Mr. Swatantra Kumar, who has moved the court, to satisfy the court as to how does it affect the interest of justice if it is publicized as is being done in any other case. Yeah. And only if he satisfies Delhi High Court on that count, probably there may be imposition of some restricted ban on publication of this particular case.
Right. If I can take the point that you made forward, Ms. Singh, what exactly would Justice Kumar have to try and satisfy the court with? What would he have to say to convince the court that the coverage of this trial is not in the best interests of justice?
You see, if a personal interest of an accused can always not be the paramount consideration. What would be the paramount consideration would be overall interest of justice. In a matter, why should the society, why should the country, and why should the people of this country not know as to what is happening in one very important matter in this country? I think they have a right. Media has a right of, they have a freedom of coverage of a particular case within certain frameworks and restrictions of law. And therefore, seeking complete prohibition to publication of a news probably would be violative of the rights of so many others. Right. But then only where security is involved or national interest is involved, or something huge is at stake by publication, that probably the courts seldom pass orders. And if the accused or anybody who moves the court seeking such a prayer satisfies the court that grave injustice would be done, or publication of this development or the progress in the case would affect the interest of justice, then probably the courts may intervene. Otherwise, it's a very rare occasion that the courts do so, pass such orders.
Well, I have another question for both my guests this morning. If I can put it first to Mrs. Singh. This relates to the other development in this case, where the Supreme Court has now said that they will take Justice Kumar's former law intern's plea into consideration to set up that administrative panel within the court to review cases against retired judges or to review allegations against retired judges. What do you make of that decision today, as well as how it contrasts to what was decided on the 5th of December, where they said no, the court has no jurisdiction in such cases?
No, I would just like to first answer the earlier question which we were doing.
Sure,
327 of the CRPC says that courts have to be open. So unless and until it's a gross violation, it should not be. It should be kept open, and the country has a right to know what is happening, and that is why courts are open and judgments are given out in open.
Yes.
So till the time it is very serious, I think it should not be heeded to. In the Salman Khan case also, they tried to have a in-camera trial, which was not agreed by the court, and the court clearly said that you report the facts, and that is what should be done by the media. It should report the facts.
Yeah.
And now coming to the second question, where the Supreme Court has now agreed to listen to it. If you see, the Supreme Court has two jurisdictions. One is administrative and judicial.
Yes.
This matter, it's being heard in its administrative capacity. If the Supreme Court will decide whether it should mark it to the Registrar General, and a committee should be set up to look into it, because the right procedure would have been that under 154 of the CRPC, this in turn should have gone to the statutory authority, in this case the police, because when already there is an established procedure prescribed by law, that then that only established procedure should be followed, not otherwise. So the right thing would have been, when the law provides for 154 CRPC, this in turn should have gone there. Since she had not gone there, and earlier in Justice Ganguly's case, a 3-member committee was set up.
Yes.
In fact, that report was not made public, and the court said that it is not within its jurisdiction. We should have appreciated that fact and gone ahead. But now, now that the Supreme Court has is listening to this thing, we will have to see what the pleadings are and what the court decides, and at the most it can refer it to the Registrar General to set up a committee regarding as per the Vishakha guidelines. But now this judge is retired, Justice Kumar is retired, he is no longer with the Supreme Court, and this in turn is also not a part of the thing. The Vishakha guidelines would also not be applicable in this case.
In fact, I want to take that last point that you made over there, because as you mentioned, Justice Kumar is not on the Supreme Court bench anymore. Mr. Memon, if I can put that point to you, if the Supreme Court does agree with the intern's plea, I'm sorry, I'm being told by my producer that we're getting a reaction on this from the Supreme Court. Mr. Memon, I'll come to you in just a moment. Let's listen in first.
तो चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया ने कहा कि जो एक विशेष उन्होंने ध्यान हमारा एक प्रेयर पर लिया, कि जो प्रेयर है कि आज की तारीख में और जिस समय ये इंसिडेंट ऑफ सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट एलेज किया जा रहे हैं 2011 में, तब और आज भी एक परमानेंट इंस्टीट्यूशनल मैकेनिज्म जिसके थ्रू कंप्लेंट्स ऑफ सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट बाय अगेंस्ट जुडिशियल ऑफिसर्स के लिए कोई रिड्रेस मैकेनिज्म नहीं है। ये जो प्रेयर दी गई है, इस पे सुनवाई करनी चाहिए, उसके लिए नोटिस इशू किया गया है। इस केस में जो 1997 की लैंडमार्क जजमेंट विशाखा वर्सेस स्टेट ऑफ राजस्थान सुप्रीम कोर्ट की जजमेंट है, उसमें जो ओरिजिनल पिटिशनर्स, जो महिला संगठन उस समय जो लाए थे केस, वही महिला संगठन आज भी सुप्रीम कोर्ट के सामने अपने आप को उन्होंने इस केस में एज इंटरवीनर्स इम्प्लीड करवा लिया है। 4 महिला संगठन हैं, विशाखा, WRG जो जयपुर बेस्ड है, और जागोरी एंड काली फॉर विमेन जो दिल्ली बेस्ड है। ये चारों महिला संगठन जो ओरिजिनल विशाखा पिटिशनर्स थे, अब इस केस में इम्प्लीड हो गए हैं एज इंटरवीनर्स। केस की अगली तारीख 14 फरवरी है और उसके बाद सुनवाई के लिए रखा जाएगा।
जिसमें एक पॉइंट के लिए एक सेकंड यार,
ओपिनियन नहीं देना चाहते। स्वतंत्र कुमार के खिलाफ जो शिकायत है उस पे अभी हम कोई ओपिनियन नहीं दे सकते।
अभी जब सुनवाई होगी उसके बाद ही कोई बात कही जा सकती है। Today, the Supreme Court of India, in a bench headed by the Chief Justice of India, heard the petition and issued notice on the writ petition filed by the law intern. Notice has been issued to all the respondents, that is, the Secretary General of the Supreme Court of India, Justice Swatantra Kumar, and the Union of India, accepted through the Solicitor General. Notice has also been issued to the Attorney General. In this matter, 4 women's groups who were the original petitioners in the Vishakha case and had brought the Vishakha case before the Supreme Court have also been impleaded as interveners. the Chief Justice of India took special note of the prayer made in the writ petition that there are no permanent institutional mechanisms to redress any complaint of and inquire into any complaint of sexual harassment by judicial officers, whether at the Supreme Court, High Court or the subordinate judiciary, and said that this matter requires to be heard by the Supreme Court of India. The matter is now fixed for 14th February and notice has been issued to all respondents. Yes, two senior lawyers of the Supreme Court Bar, Mr. Fali Nariman and Mr. Venugopal, have been asked to assist the court in the matter.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, that was Vrinda Grover, who is a representative for the law intern who's brought that petition against Justice Swatantra Kumar. Mr. Memon, I unfortunately had to interrupt you when you were making that point earlier. If you can go back to that point that Vrinda Grover was also making, if you can take it into your answer about the Supreme Court now saying that perhaps it's time to have those administrative reviews at least of charges, even against retired judges.
You see, one clarification which needs to be made,
yes,
and your viewers must appreciate the the call for a mechanism. Well, certainly the mechanism has to be in place, because any eventuality may arise tomorrow, and law or the system must not appear to be helpless for want of a mechanism. So a mechanism has always to be in place. Now see, there are two distinctions which I would want to make. One is that if Ganguly's case and Swatantra Kumar's case, both were Supreme Court judges, ex-judges, but then the distinction is that on the date when the offence is alleged,
yes,
Justice Ganguly was not in office as a judge of the Supreme Court, but Swatantra Kumar's case is slightly different. Now, one more thing which must be understood is this, that whether a Supreme Court judge or a common man on the street or even a non-citizen, a foreigner or anybody, if involved in a criminal offence on the soil of this country, the law of this country operates and he is subject to law.
Right.
And therefore the legal system must start functioning. Now Supreme Court has its two dual-faced authorities. One is that it has its judicial authority, judicial administration, and the second is the administrative part of it.
Yeah.
Now if an official of Supreme Court, be it a judge or a registrar or an employee of the Supreme Court, probably then the administration swings into action to proceed against that person if that person happens to be in office, attached to Supreme Court's administration itself.
Yeah.
Now that would be a different story. But then even such person is not immune or is not exempted from answering to the law of the land if the law applies.
In a judicial
case of Swatantra Kumar also, certainly he may be a judge at that point of time, but if a criminal offence is disclosed, he would be definitely answerable and accountable to the law.
Mr. Memon and Ms. Ava Singh, thank you very much for joining Headlines today to help our viewers understand the legal nitty-gritties in this case. There are many, many factors affecting this particular case involving Justice Swatantra Kumar, and we appreciate your expertise on that.